Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. All things Middle-earth here at the video talking about the Gondor team. We're going to have a fifth and final member in Denethor coming to the game very soon. He'll be a marquee character. This team will have 3 marquees. We've got Sergeant Ara and Herendil as well. So a full team finally, but is it worth investing in? I want to cover at least what we do know right now, and I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Are you going to try out this Gondor team or wait to see once they're farmable? Let me know, because it is an expensive team, and that's one thing we're going to talk about right off the bat. But let me know down below. Let's go ahead and jump into the video. Okay, so probably the first and most important thing we should talk about is the cost of this team. As of right now, Denethor will be a marquee. That means there's going to be Boromir, Faramir, and Denethor as marquees. One of the most, if not the most, marquee-heavy teams in the game currently. Now, again, 2-3 months down the road, they might be very easily farmable, but right now they are not. So if you're looking at this video anytime recent, to this date of it going out, it's an expensive team. So I would not invest in them unless you are someone who is spending in plans to get them upgraded, because star value has gone up a lot lately in recent updates. So getting them at 3 stars isn't going to cut it against, the raids or other things we have in the game currently. So cost, very expensive. So I would say move forward with this team if you plan to, invest some money, or again, you could still check it out, because once they're farmable, you want to know how they do. But in terms of actually playing the marquees and spending, just be prepared to spend a lot. Now, I do want to talk about how this team will do in an area like raids and arena in just a second. But first, I want to talk through some stats. I've got a spreadsheet I want to pull up on the screen, which is linked down below. If you want to look at it yourself, you're welcome to. If not, again, I'll just explain it very quickly. So we've got 2 pages down here. If you look down here, we have stats and skills. The first one is a stats page. So you can go in and see what the stats are for health, damage, armor, focus, resistance, speed, and I think it's skip focus. I don't know. All the stats in the game, you can see what they all are. And the actual stat numbers are color coded. So green is good, red is not so good. So the kind of brighter green they are, I have dark mode on, so it kind of looks wonky, but it's hard to see whenever you're, whatever. But the kind of brighter greens you see here are, in this example, in this category, the damage category, you've got Eomer, as I think he's tied for second highest. If we go to Gror the Brute, he is the highest, so kind of the most vibrant green or whatever. That's the best one. The ones that are kind of non-colored are in the middle, and the ones that are red or lighter reds, like kind of pink in this example, are going to be the lower damage characters. So that's the same for each of these categories, and I went through and did a formula here. It'll actually tell you what rank they are in that category. So if we go, again, using damage as an example, you look here and go to Gror the Brute, he does have the highest damage stat at number 1 in the game, and there are a handful tied for number 2, Bolg being 1, Eomer, so on and so forth. So if you want to use this really for any characters, you can, but specifically for Gondor, all you have to do is click this button up here to click filter. Again, I'll have this link down below. So once you get the sheet, you get into it, you click file and click make a copy, so you can edit the sheet and do what you want with it. So make a copy, name it whatever you want, click this little filter button right here. And then if you clear all of the names and click OK, it's going to remove everyone. And then click the filter again, and you're going to type a parentheses and type Gondor, because I have put that next to their names just as a kind of easy way to filter them. And we're going to click that. Click select all, and then click OK. And here we go. We have the characters now. Denethor is not, we don't have the stats just yet in the game, because he's not in the game yet. So this will be updated once he is. But you can look through and quickly see how statistically this team ranks up in the other ones. Again, nothing crazy in terms of health. Boromir's got decent health at 17. 40,000 is not bad. Faramir's actually not bad either, but Sergeant Ara, as kind of another tank who you'd kind of like to be a little bit more bulky, is actually the lowest health. So just something to think about. In terms of damage, we have Faramir at 8, one of the higher ones, and Herendil and Boromir are not bad ranks either, so very solid damage from those 3. Armor, Boromir's tied for first, and then Sergeant Ara or RR, whatever you say it, is 15th, so not bad in the armor there. Nothing crazy from Faramir and Herendil. And then you can keep going through and see that, speed-wise, Faramir and or focus, we're looking at here, Faramir and Boromir are tied for speed. Resistance, they're tied at 11th, and speed, it's not a relatively fast team other than Faramir being at 14th. So those are the stats, or at least the stats for the Gondor characters. Again, you can just go, hit Control Z and go back to having everyone there, or you can go back and just make sure you click select all, and you can look through and see. I think it's helpful to see how entire teams stack up and how they rank, because I think how their skills do and how they do is somewhat based off of their stats, which makes sense. So I like to look at this personally. If you want to do that, it's linked down below. And like I said, when Denethor is added, I will add him as well. He's a support lead character, so I don't expect him to have like crazy high health or damage or armor. I feel like he might have high focus and resistance, But we'll see. Who knows? Maybe he'll be secretly really tanky, but I don't think so. But I'll add him when he's in the game. Next up, we do have this skill sheet. So again, it's all of their skills at the max level. It does include Denethor's because we had this get released early. So you can go through and look and see just like what all their basics do. Because at least for me, I'm a visual person. So if I see that, for example, a Denethor's ability special 1 says you can call Boromir to assist in the ally with the most mains. So I'm wondering, okay, well, when Boromir assists, what's he going to do? Well, that's going to be his basic right here. So you can see Boromir's going to attack for 180 and inflict weaken. And then obviously whoever has the most banes is going to attack and do whatever their basic is. So you can kind of cross-reference things. Again, if you don't like it, no shame, but I find it helpful to kind of look at this like this. We have Denethor's lead right here. So a couple of things I want to talk about in terms of content in the game. First of all, raids. In my opinion, from what I've seen in the first 2 chapters that we have now, I'm not talking chapter 3 yet because I haven't seen a lot on it, but in the first 2 chapters, which apparently, our guild is starting chapter 2. Amazing timing here. So in the first 2 chapters, I do not think that the Gondor team is going to be significant in either one of them. There are a few calls to assist from Denethor with Boromir, so there'd be a little bit there, some AoEs, which could help you in the first chapter. Very, very RNG based. In my opinion, the team that is the best is going to be Roder Rivendell, who has the most calls to assist. So you can have the highest stacks on the Moria Bomber at all times. But this team doesn't stand out to me as one that's going to have ridiculous amounts of calls to assist. They've got AoEs that are solid, and they might do okay, but at the very least, I think they'll just be average at chapter 1. Chapter 2 is very difficult, in my opinion. Again, the Haradrim team is the only team that, on paper, should be able to do this very well because they can actually prevent the troll from ramping up and just going crazy. No other teams can actually prevent that from happening. So it is a ticking time bomb type of a thing where you need a lot of damage. So this team doesn't have like ridiculous damage nor ways to prevent the troll from ramping up. So I don't think they'll be great at chapter 2 either. I think they'll be better at chapter 1 than 2 if I were to compare the two. But those are just my thoughts. Let me know if you guys have them or, plan to use them in the raids. Let me know how they do. But I think they'll be an average raid team, maybe a solid, slightly better than solid on chapter 1. Chapter 2, I think is currently, it's just tough. So I don't expect a lot of them. Now, in terms of arena, if you play arena, good for you. I don't play arena all the time because I'm kind of tired of just like doing the same stuff and I'm in shard 1. The elves, that's kind of the meta we see the most of, and how this team, the Gondor team, is going to match up, in my opinion, is going to be fairly decent because you have a mark on Sergeant Aera, so she can mark down Elrond and force everyone to attack him, even if you have Eladin taunting. So if timed out properly, I think there's a chance that you could use her to target Elrond and get him taken out early enough to where then you could do okay. You've got solid AoEs, you've got, some decent things. I think they could do okay, but they by no means stand out to me as like a Elrond, anti-Elrond team. To me, that's like what the Haradrim team is. So I think they could compete with this and other teams, but again, they just seem kind of mediocre to me. They don't seem like someone who's like, oh my gosh, this is the new arena meta, this is the new raid meta, whatever. That's just not the vibe I'm getting just yet. So if it were up to me, this is not a team that I would go out and spend crazy amounts of money on right away. Now, again, chapter 3 and 4 are yet to be out, and Denethor's leadership has to do with increased block chance with Gondor allies. So maybe one of these chapters will have something to do where, you get some kind of special effect when you block an attack, and they might just be the absolute best at that chapter, but we don't know that yet. So if and when that happens, I'll be sure to update you guys. But again, if I had to give the Gondor team a ranking right now, I'd probably be a C. It's probably just like they're average, maybe a B. I think Boromir and Faramir look really cool. I think there's cool synergy between Boromir and Denethor. But if anything, I feel like people might use Faramir in a ranger squad with already having Strider and Halbrand and characters like that built up. That's just my thoughts. So let me know what you guys think down below. Again, my thought would be not to go crazy investing in this team. At least don't spend money to get them sooner. If you like Gondor, just wait till they are farmable because they don't stand out right now as being, something that's going to excel in raids or in arena. Now, again, once all the chapters are out, that could totally change. So keep an eye out on the channel. I'll update you guys if that changes. But that'll do it for me in this video, and I hope to see you guys in a future one.